All right, here we are. It's Sunday evening. Hey, Chairman, how are you? Nice to see you in here. Let me change this here. Put that there. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Why that is. Okay, there we go. That's working there. All right. Give me a thumbs up. Appreciate you being here in the chat. Happy day after Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We're going to talk today about how do we transform our guts and going from bloated to balanced, because it is inevitable as we go through this holiday season that we can really end up causing some damage to ourselves. Hey, Idaho Garden Girl, nice to see you. We can really cause some damage to our gut, our hormones, our health. And what ends up happening, this is why we go into the new year with a vengeance, with this massive desire to make sure that we set these lofty resolutions. But we all fail within 3 weeks. So that's why we have Reset Monday to help you stay on track on a weekly basis. So I want you to make sure that you're staying healthy through the holidays and that you're protecting yourself. Well, hey, Gil, nice to see you, my friend. How have you been? What did you make alive on? Yeah, great to see you. Thanks for being here. So how was everybody's Thanksgiving dinner? Did we all eat too much? Is everybody feeling the effects of that? I mean, Thanksgiving's amazing. I went down to North Carolina to visit my sister. Now, all the food was incredible. It was all healthy, but there was a lot of it. So we Thanksgiving morning, and this is one of the things I always say is make sure you eat good protein in the morning, that you have a protein-filled breakfast in the morning on Thanksgiving Day. It really helps to satiate you. It takes longer for protein to digest than it does carbohydrates. So when you bring protein on deck, you're actually going to feel more satiated and you won't overeat. Well, so we had a good healthy breakfast. We had scrambled eggs, homemade sourdough, and it was perfect. And then of course, good cup of coffee. And then about an hour after we ate, we brought out the snacks, and all the snacks were, this beautiful charcuterie, and we had, we had nitrate-free chorizo sausage. It was, oh my God, it was so amazing. But anyway, and then, just a really wonderful spread, hummus and baba ganoush and olives and, a very Lebanese sort of grazing. And then of course, vegetables. So then we grazed, we continued to graze. And then dinner was very simple: turkey, stuffing, some sweet potatoes, and a beautiful salad. So nothing too out of sorts. But I have to tell you, as healthy as everything was, it was just a lot of food. I was feeling the effects of it. I don't normally eat that kind of quantity of food. And so yeah, I'm recovering a little bit from a digestion perspective that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really have to shore it up, and just scale back the amount of calories that I'm having. So I started that, I came back on Friday. And so it's been, it's just resetting each and every time. Gil lost 2 pounds. Good job. Are you still doing your, what is it? Your gazelle or whatever that is. Gil had 6 ounces of pot roast chili. Stephanie said she's still eating leftovers, making soup from bones. Oh yeah. Yeah, and then you can freeze that. Gil says, no pie, no potatoes, no snacks. Yeah, so we had, like I said, we had snacks, but they were all, like I say, it was very Lebanese snacky stuff. So let's get in here, where are my banners? Hey, if you're jumping in here, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for me. and share this out. I appreciate it. So I want to go through some things today because now that we're through Thanksgiving here in the United States, it, it's just game on. It's just more sugar, it's more indulgence, it's party after party. The holiday seasons are just ripe for us to just continue to feel terrible. And I have to say that, the last couple of days I've had like this low grade nauseousness going on as well. And so you can still overeat healthy food. Um, so so as we go through this, I'm going to go through a few things just to help you protect yourself. Now, I still followed suit in this. I still practiced what I am preaching to you today, and it definitely helped. But it was just, I don't know. I was just in the, I met somebody else's house. Don't want to be rude. Okay, breakfast, snacks, dinner. Yeah, it was crazy, and we didn't eat too late either, though, so that was helpful. Um, so Chairman says hopefully the new person will be in touch of our health. We'll get into office soon and fix things. Yeah. So referring to additives in our food, that's a whole nother subject. But in general, I am very hopeful of that. And so this is just really about protecting yourself when you go to other places and you go to these parties. So pull up my notes here. So first of all, I always want to say that when we overindulge, and even just overeating, just too much food, too much quantity of food, and then if it's overindulgence in particular types of calories, so if it's sugars, if it's low quality carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates, though all of those things are going to affect our gut and our ability to digest our food properly. It affects the gut microbiome, which is it's all our good bacteria. Well, the gut microbiome is trillions of bacteria, period. How we take care of that bacteria is a different story. So you could have a healthy microbiome, you could have a sick microbiome. Now, when we don't take care of our microbiome, it leads to things like it can lead to headaches, it can lead to fogginess in the brain, it can lead to fatigue, tiredness. And then all of those things also can affect how you sleep. And of course, if you're not sleeping, you're not healing. And the body really, just goes on this rinse and repeat cycle in its inability to heal and help make sure that it's moving your health forward. People who have issues with their gut also have issues with chronic sinusitis. I've seen that quite a bit. Tinnitus, which is the ringing in the ears. People can have that, vertigo, skin issues, so rashes, eczema, hives, rosacea, people who have like permanent rosy cheeks. That's all food allergy. That's all altered gut microbiome. So paying attention to that as we go into this season of indulgence, critical, really critical. If you know for a fact you have health issues, if you know you have a gut issue, then let's pay even more attention. If you're like, oh, I've got some autoimmune something, I always say that thyroid, people who are on thyroid medication don't necessarily pay attention to the fact that that's an autoimmune issue. So they really just think, oh, it's managed, so it must be fine. If you're taking any medication for anything, anyhow, any way, that is your body is compromised. Your body is really trying to heal, and it needs the power to heal itself. Stephanie says, in the past, I lose weight when I eat soup. I'm getting the soup ready for a couple of weeks. I love that, and especially like when I'm trying to lean out also, I go to my broth. I go to my homemade broth, and it is satisfying. It's healing. It's healthy. It does help to balance the microbiome. So thinking about, if you can, and I have a video. I don't think I fully processed it. I'll make sure that I do that because I have a video on how I make my homemade broth. It's amazing, and it is really, we all should be making some broth at this point in time. We've got all the leftover stuff, so we should do that. So when we go into um, our indulgences, we just have to be thinking about, how is this affecting me? Even just joint pain, daily joint pain. I also have noticed that, and I think partly from traveling, not being on my regular exercise routine, I was sleeping in another bed. I did not sleep well for 2 days. So if you don't sleep well, it can actually create more of an inflammatory process in your body. My knees yesterday at the gym and today in yoga were like screaming at me. And I get this a lot too. People say it hurts when I bend down, it hurts when I squat, so I don't do that. And I'm like, no, no, no. Like, you need to do that. And from the simplest thing, if you just have to lie on your back and pull your knee into your chest versus doing something weight bearing like squatting all the way down, you have got to move your knees, just from a longevity perspective, a flexibility perspective. But yeah, my knees were screaming at me because I was completely off. My whole body was so off. So I know I'm paying attention to it, and I'm getting back on track. So Stephanie says, I remember the days where I could sleep anywhere. Isn't that the truth? I know. Yeah. And it was really dry down there, really dry. So I kept waking up and having to drink water. But I don't know why it was so dry in North Carolina. But anyway, okay. So now we know. So and that's just a slight laundry list of how your gut affects your brain. And of course, I have more videos on this channel with other topics talking about the gut brain connection, our gut health, how to restore our gut health, the microbiome. So as we go into the holidays, here are some things that I want you to make sure that you remember. One of the things that you can do to really make sure you're stimulating your digestion is, when you wake up in the morning, make sure you're drinking that big glass of water. I've done a video on that and how important that is. You could squeeze the juice of a half of an organic lemon, maybe a whole lemon, and you could drink that every morning, every day. You're getting a boost of vitamin C. You're bumping up the acid in your stomach, which is, you need that to break down and digest your food properly. So a lot of people will wake up and they take acid blockers, and that's the converse of what your body needs. So getting that acid in is really, really helpful for starting to get your digestion moving in the right direction. So, hey, Gil, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you being here. So that's something we can do, is starting that in the morning. And if you're like, I don't like water, a lot of people don't like the flavor of water. You could do herbal teas are really helpful, and you could, make the herbal tea and put it in the fridge. Um, just because, you could do hot tea. I just don't think you can drink enough of it, right? I'm like, I really want you to drink a lot of water when you first wake up in the morning, because you're dehydrated. So that's why, I would say make the tea at night, put it in the fridge, and then now you have a nice cold iced tea. Herbal tea would be great. So also, again, talking about limiting our triggers. So the refined sugars, the cakes, the cookies, the pies, all of that stuff. And of course the alcohol. We don't drink alcohol for our good health. So remember that, this is damaging to your health. It's incredibly inflammatory. Now, I understand people are going to want to have cocktails. I'm one of them. So I try to keep things as clean as possible. So tequila and soda, vodka and soda, and that's it. Like, don't, stay away from anything that has any of the sweets and the syrups in it. Keep it as clean as possible, because the alcohol in combination with the sugar is even more damaging than just the alcohol alone. So Stephanie says, what do I think of vitamin B injections? I had 3 of them, feel more energized than I have in 5 years. And a lot of people respond well to, I mean, I think everybody should have some kind of B vitamins. The B vitamins, if when you inject them, tend to you get better absorption. You absorb more than you do. That's any injection, even if you have a nutritional IV. The nutritional IVs, you're going to get more saturation of the cells for those particular nutrients than you are taking it orally. So, yeah, absolutely do it. And again, as we get older, hate to even say that, but as we get older, you know, energy is important. Especially women in menopause, we struggle because when we lose that estrogen is there to control a lot of things for us, including our sleep patterns. And when we can't control our sleep patterns, we don't sleep properly. When you don't sleep well, it creates more of an inflammatory process in the body. And so this is where it becomes like, oh my gosh, if you if you're already somebody that if you're perimenopausal, menopausal, if you're a man and you're like, I know my hormones are kind of out of whack. Getting your proper rest and making sure you are being mindful of what you're doing, because if you start to cause more damage to your gut, you're going to cause more damage to your sleep patterns, and then it becomes again a vicious cycle. So Stephanie says, I tried oral B vitamins. They just did very little. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like sometimes, like even like, vitamin C. I take a high potency C powder that I love because you can take more of it and drink it slower over time. So you're getting more of a saturation of the cells versus like a giant tablet that goes into the stomach once, and then it has to break all that down, and then you just pee out, which you don't need. So I really do prefer the powders because then, like I say, you can drink them slowly over time and not lose a lot of it. And Chairman says, I drink matcha and I'm thinking that's ashwagandha tea with a whole bunch of spices and herbs. Oh yeah. Ashwagandha is so good for the adrenal glands and stress. I love matcha too. I put matcha in my morning shake. Yeah. How about we call it a tincture or a potion? It's a special potion. Yeah, it sounds really yummy. Yes, and I was okay until postmenopause, and that is like many of us. It's crazy. It's a roller coaster of hormones out there. So, and when I talk about managing your health and making sure you're being mindful of your gut, what we want to make sure that we do is hedge our bets so that when we get into perimenopause and menopause, that we we will be less likely to have all the crazy symptoms, the sleep issues, the brain fog, the fatigue, the joint aches, the hot flashes. I mean, the list goes on. That doesn't mean that people who do follow, you just have to say that a lot of people still will experience a lot of those things, even if they've had a super healthy, super clean life. But the likelihood becomes far less when you start to really manage your lifestyle and your diet as you get up into the menopausal time. So matcha is really expensive. I haven't bought it lately. I know it was always quite expensive. But yeah, I've got a nice powder there that I put in my tea, or I'll put it in my coffee. Actually, I'll put it in my shake. Yeah. And it's it's tiny little container. Yep. I'm buying whole tea and grinding it myself to make powder tea. Oh, okay. That's good. And yeah, what brand of ashwagandha tea, Chairman? Stephanie is asking. So let me go back over here. Okay, so let's say we go to our party, and there are some hierarchies of food that you want to be mindful of. So think protein first, and then fats second. So when I say fats, like look for like the higher fat cheeses. Cheeses also, if you look for the ones that are like Parmesan, like the sharp cheeses like that, they can tend to have so much flavor that you put it in your mouth, you kind of savor it, you let it melt. and it can really reduce those cravings for like the crackers or the chips or the highly processed snacks. So you're going to go protein first. You can do those high fat cheeses with big flavor, but make sure you're just savoring everything. Don't just like get in there and just start to like, shovel food in your mouth. And then the last thing, or along with that, would be uh, the veggie tray. So make sure you like hover over the veggie tray, because if you move from the veggie tray over to some other area that has some crappy stuff and you're hungry, you're going to be, likely to start to snack on the stuff that isn't going to serve you. I tend to like, if I'm near the food table, I will stand near the veggie tray and I will just eat off of that, because that you're getting the fiber, which is going to be filling, which is actually going to help feed your microbiome. It's the prebiotics for your microbiome. So it's helpful to feed the good guys, so we don't get as much overgrowth of the bad guys. And then also it helps your digestion overall. And then you're just making sure you're going to get full faster, so you won't be as likely to go for the other stuff. When you get starving, you really just want to indulge in everything. So hey, hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Stephanie says, I love highly flavored sharp cheese, like extra sharp cheddar. I just let it melt in my mouth. Regular cheese is just too bland for me. I am with you on that, girl, for sure. And you're right. The more you can let it melt in your mouth, the more I talked about this with like good quality chocolate, because a lot of people are like, hey, can I have chocolate? I'm like, you sure can, but like not a Hershey's Kiss. That is the crappiest chocolate you can ever have. Make sure it's high quality chocolate. And excuse me. And you want to, when you put it in your mouth, you want to just let it melt. If it hits the roof of your mouth, you're really like now starting to hit those dopamine centers. And so the more you can savor the food that's in your mouth, the more the flavors you'll get, the more your happy hormones will respond to that. And then the satiety centers start to fire up. So now you're more satisfied, and the hunger centers start to back down. So it's really important that you're you're being mindful when you eat, especially at a party, because here we go. We're at the party, we're eating, we're talking, we're having fun, we're laughing. So you have to kind of, put that into perspective. So I was going to share what I get, but I don't have a blue wrench to drop it in the chat. Hold on one second. Let's see if I can. Let me see if I can. You know what? I can't do it from here. I can only delete you from here, and I don't want to mess with that and delete you. If you just drop the name of it, I can go ahead and look it up on Amazon, and then I think I have to actually be over on YouTube to give you a blue wrench. Am I right there? There I am. Let me see. There we go. Okay. There you go, Chairman. I think I just made you a moderator. Let me know if that worked. Okay. And all right. So where were we? So think about that. So again, your hierarchy, you're going to go protein, you're going to go your fats, you're going to do your fiber, and then hopefully you won't be hungry for any of the refined carbohydrates. And then you can really, keep yourself protected. So what else do we have? You can also, like, on a daily basis, if you have fermented foods, so kombucha, sauerkraut, there's a lot of really great fermented foods that you can buy now. You can ferment your own things. You can make yogurt. Make sure, a lot of people, when they talk about yogurt, I have a problem with yogurt. That people buy at the store, because what happens is people are like, I'm eating my yogurt and I still have a gut issue, but they're buying the crappy stuff. So you got to read the label. The rules around yogurt is it should be high fat. Don't buy the low fat stuff. And it should be zero sweetened, zero, 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 unsweetened. So full fat, unsweetened. Don't buy the sweetened stuff because it's got chemicals in it. It has either sugar or artificial sweeteners. So you want to buy just good quality, high fat yogurt. Just because it says Greek yogurt does not mean it's healthy for you. That has become a really incredible marketing plan for the yogurt companies to just put Greek yogurt on the label, and it's still the same garbage yogurt that Yoplait and Dannon and all the other ones are selling. So high fat, and then sweeten it yourself. And the way I make my own yogurt, I buy it's a full fat organic. It's very low pasteurized. It's the closest thing I can find to raw milk. And so I take that and so I make my yogurt out of that. And so it's plain yogurt. It's wonderful. It's creamy. I mean, it literally tastes like ice cream because then I strain it out. All Greek yogurt is it should be a little thicker, and so I strain it out myself. As so I'm Lebanese, so we call it Lebni. So Leban is the actual yogurt, and Lebni is when we strain the water out and it becomes thick. So mine is so thick. It's like almost my last batch. It's almost like cream cheese. I made it too thick this last time, but even either way, so there's very low water in it. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can grab that. Can I grab that? No, I'm trying to like copy and paste that so I can go find it. Oh, let's see if I can get it from here. Oh, look at that. I got it from here. Okay. Okay. 100%. Let's see. 100 bags. Oh, USDA organic ashwagandha roots tea bags. Perfect. That's great. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Go back to where I was here. Find you guys here. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. I'll leave that up for another second there. So, so you could do yogurt, but I would love to encourage you to make your own yogurt. You can get your Instapots have a yogurt setting. I can't make yogurt in my Instapot because mine smells like meat. So, yeah, I always do my meat, roast things like that. I applewood smoke everything, and then it goes into my Instapot. And so my Instapot smells like all of my smoked meat. So I can't use my Instapot for yogurt. But there's a lot of makers. You can get yogurt makers. You can get an Instapot, and you can make your own yogurt. And then you just strain it through a cheesecloth for about 24 hours, and it'll get all that water out and be this nice, beautiful, thick, creamy yogurt. It's amazing. So if you don't make your own yogurt, then you definitely want to just, make sure you're read that label, make sure that it has full fat in it. So you're getting all of that goodness in there, because that is actually very satisfying, is having some of that fat in there. It's really, helps the hunger. So I use the matcha to cover the taste of the ashwagandha. Matcha doesn't taste great to me. It's kind of bitter. So I actually put my matcha in my nutrition shakes so that I can't taste it. So yeah, there's that. Okay. So keep that in mind. So you could do your fermented foods. If you're going to do yogurt, then there are rules around yogurt. Not skipping on hydration. We talked about that, making sure you're getting at least half of your body weight in ounces a day of water, but you got to start with that big glass of water. I probably have 3 of these down before I even leave the house in the morning. So that's within a couple of hours after waking. So lots of water. And water is great, because just water and good hydration, it's so great for your skin. It helps to move everything through your gut. It helps every process in the body for your cells to function properly. If you aren't sleeping well, if you have headaches, if you have joint pain, if you're constipated, you very well could be dehydrated. So hydration is critical. And people will say to me, I just don't like water. I don't care. That is one of those things. I'm sorry that you don't like water. You have got to figure it out, because you are water. Period. And I have so many patients that struggle with constipation and they're like, I just don't like water. And I'm like, do you like pooping once a week? Like, you've got to just drink water. You are water. I don't understand where we get this lack of desire to drink water. I think we have too many liquid options that have garbage in them that are causing damage to health. And so it becomes really critical to avoid those things and just go to the water. So we've made it really easy to not drink water by creating all this other garbage. And then when it comes to the one thing that is life giving, then people are like, I just don't like it. Well, that is one of those things. I don't care is the cheapest and easiest thing that anyone can do for their health. And there are a lot of excuses around it. So if you are in earshot and you are making an excuse around you don't like water, you have got to figure that thing out. So, you know, I have worked with so many people over the years, and they're like, oh, I don't, they don't want to spend money on nutrition coaching, or they're like off spending tons of money on supplements and coaching and all this other stuff. I'm like, just drink water. Like, you need to drink water as your foundation. So cheapest, easiest thing to do. And it is always step one, is making sure you're getting that hydration in to make sure that your body is functioning the way it needs to. So, a lot of people are spending a lot of money, wasting a lot of money when, yeah, I can give you a whole bunch of supplements, but why would I do that if it can't get you just to do the foundational things? So, okay, so that's my water rant. And Chairman says a lot of water sources do not taste very good. So I understand why people don't drink a lot of water. We have filtration systems. There are the water filters have come down dramatically in price. And so there are many ways to get around that. And that's what I'm saying too. You could do an herbal tea, and herbal teas, pick one that you like. Just steep a huge pot of it and put it in your refrigerator, and do a gallon a day. You can, and just make sure it doesn't have caffeine in it. But you could do that with herbal teas if you want that little extra flavor. But no, you've got to drink the water. So, okay. Let's see, where are we at? Where is our next one? So movement, we talk about movement a lot, and I want to talk a little bit too about with yoga. So I did yoga today. It's super cold here, so I do not want to get out and walk. So I was actually shopping today with my daughter, and so I was putting a lot of steps in the little shopping place that we were at. We walked through this little town that the shops are at, and even though it was freezing. And then, of course, I did yoga this morning. So I moved my body a lot today. And the thing with yoga is that and you can look up on YouTube, there's lots of yoga stretches. I even have some on my stretching playlist on this channel where we talk about movement and rotation. And when you move the body in a way that yoga allows you to move your body, and you do all that rotation, you're actually squeezing out your intestines. So you're encouraging digestion for your body, which, that's really, like, we want to get those waste products out. So again, for people who are constipated, really, really help. And then just, people who just want to have good, healthy gut health on a daily basis, is that movement, that wringing of the intestines will help so much. Chairman says, I also sometimes buy gunpowder green tea. It comes in a big bag and it's loose leaf. Put it in the coffee grinder, turn it to dust. I love gunpowder green. It is my favorite green tea, and I love a good, strong green tea. And gunpowder actually has caffeine in it. So when I detox, I usually like a little bit of caffeine. I try to stop coffee. And so I will have gunpowder, but I have to steep it very light because there's something about gunpowder green. It is so strong that it actually makes me nauseous. So if you drink that and you get some nauseousness, and I'm buying like the organic stuff, I just think it's a really, really strong green tea. So, just be mindful of that. And if it's too strong, I can get heart palpitations from it. So there's a lot of caffeine in the gunpowder. So keep that in mind. Um, so let's see, go back to the list. All right. So move in some way, shape, or form. This is now the time where, especially through the winter, you could get find a class, get around people. It's easy to get this seasonal affective disorder. So having a good, strong social network is really good for us. And so the more we can get out and we can be among people and we can create social connections, that is going to be really amazing for our mental health. And it'll be something that'll get you to move, again, like not just, I'm not saying don't join a gym, but if you go to the gym, try to take classes where you're meeting people and you're there every week or every day or however often you're going to go with the same people. So you're building friendships and you're building social connections and you're moving your body. So we're going to talk, I'm just going to give you a little bit of foreshadowing that I'm going to talk about a gut reset plan. And so this is your insight into your gut reset plan. So as we start to move through this, I want you to be super mindful again of what did we just talk about? How do we show up at those parties? Making sure you're taking something to the party that you will eat, so you'll have something to eat. Don't go to the party hungry, so that you make sure that you're not going to overindulge. And when you start to follow these small steps, we're gonna move into a whole gut reset. And that gut reset is going to help us as we go into the new year. And in the new year, we're going to do detox with the doc. So keep that in mind, put that on your radar. It'll be a 10-day detox. We'll be doing it together. I'll be doing it with you guys. I will be here with you. I will have a private Facebook group and we'll all be in there for 10 days and we're going to detox together. So if you would like to be a part of that, just make sure you drop me a line or, hit a thumbs up. Let me know if you want to be a part of that here in the chat. If that sounds like something that you want to be a part of the detox with the doc. It come at the beginning of the year. We're going to get ourselves through the holidays. So in the meantime, as we get through the holidays, we have to be mindful of a few things. So when we're talking about this overindulgence in these parties, the critical key is you just don't want to get to the end of the night and now you're bloated, you're feeling terrible, and it's going to affect everything you do for the next day, the coming days. So when you have a gut issue going into the holidays, you tend to make it even worse. And then, we can all end up with some sort of a gut issue through the holidays because we weren't mindful enough. So, so just make sure that you are taking care of yourself in that respect. So, Chairman's not on Facebook anymore. So I have a plan for that as well. So I will keep you posted. Idaho Garden Girl says, I always take a veggie plate with ranch dressing to dip at parties. I eat the veggies without the dip. I'm the same way. So I do the veggies. I always take my homemade hummus. I always take something that I know I will eat. And that's what was really nice, when I was at my sister's, we had, like I say, we had hummus and baba ganoush and lots of veggies and some good quality cheeses. And it was all the things that I was telling you about. It was too many hours of grazing for me. And I didn't think it was until it was, if that makes sense. So, yeah. So what questions do you guys have for me around, your holidays and your holiday eating? So let me hear, go ahead and drop that in the chat and I am happy to answer your questions. So, yeah, and I'm actually looking at a membership group. I'm looking at a membership platform. I haven't figured it out yet. So that's kind of my I'm having a little frustration around that. So I'll keep you posted. So hopefully it won't have to be on Facebook. Hopefully we can do it another way. Could probably do it through Zoom, but yeah, could probably do it through Zoom. I could definitely do it through Zoom. I think that would be helpful. So, um, yeah. So what issues did you guys have with your holidays? Did you make it through? Did you feel like you overindulged? Did you survive? Um, what are you going to do going forward? Because I think this is we have to, as we start to go through this, it's like I say, we have only just begun. I mean, and there's definitely things where you can uh like let's say you're at a restaurant and you're starting to, you're getting a little bit of heartburn, or I've been places, and I've even been at the airport, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got heartburn and don't have my digestive enzymes with me. I'll go into a bar and I will ask them to give me club soda with bitters. And I put the bitters in there. And bitters used to be used for digestion many, many years ago. So that's another quick digestion hack. And also, you can just carry around digestive enzymes with you as well. So I'm going to drop in here my favorite digestive enzyme. And let's see where we are. And this stuff, oh my gosh, I used this all through my pregnancy and never got, well, come on. I never got heartburn through my pregnancy. And so this is what I use. I recommend this for all my pregnant women. Plus, again, as we get older, women, if we go back to this whole menopause thing, women tend to have more digestive issues because we have estrogen receptors in our gut, and those tend to go away, or the receptors don't, our estrogen levels do. So we lose our gut health. More women, as we go through menopause, get uh, have more issues with their gut. So having that digestive enzyme on deck is really, really key. And I would, that's my favorite one. And I would actually take 2 per meal is what I would recommend on that. So Stephanie says, I did eat dessert and too much of it. It's all gone out except for a box of Andy's mints. Not planning to buy any more sweets for the rest of December. Andy's mints. I used to keep those in the freezer. God, I loved those. Those are so good. Yeah, so my sister she had a pumpkin chiffon pie, and it was delicious, except I only had 1 bite, maybe 2. Yeah, just a bite or 2. And but that's all I needed. It was rich, it was wonderful, but I didn't need much more than that. So um where am I at here? I'm looking. Okay. All right. So you don't, again, you don't need a whole lot of the indulgent things in order to get a little taste of it. So, I mean, I'm not saying like you don't have to have that, but if that's all you've had, then you've got to like look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, it's time to stop. So if if you've kept it pretty healthy throughout the day, um, then have that bite. Like nobody's going to fault you for that, but we don't need a half a pie. So I had for Thanksgiving chocolate cheesecake that was whipped. That sounds lovely. Um, yeah, and again, that might be something I would have 1 bite of, and I would have a very small bite. That would be rich for me. Um, but and then some people just need to completely avoid it because they're, and who you are. If you're like, if I have 1 bite, I have to have the whole thing. So, it's that spiraling. So, you have to avoid it. So, I totally get that too. And so, if you know where your mindset is around things like that, then yeah, you've got to, just have a little bit more discipline with regards to, making sure you're not going to go completely off the rails. So, So yeah, keep that in mind. And let's see where we're at over here. And Chairman says it actually wasn't that bad. It wasn't milk chocolate. Oh boy, that sounds really good. Yeah, you had me at dark chocolate. Oh yeah, yep. So yeah, and I love Stephanie. Stephanie takes her own veggies. Like those are great habits to get into, because usually if you don't show up with something healthy, nobody else will. So I'm just rolling through my notes here to see if I had anything else. I think I touched on everything, and yeah, yep. We got it all. So, starting with your gut friendly water intake, you could do the lemon water, avoiding your holiday bloat triggers, which are sugar, gluten, heavily fried foods, or overly indulgent foods. Adding fiber and fermented foods, your sauerkrauts, kombuchas, and then healthy fats to your meals, and then movement, walking, yoga, all of those can aid in digestion. Even just a few little yoga stretches after a meal can be helpful if it's too cold to go out for a walk. And then, of course, staying hydrated and, at least half of your body weight in ounces of water. So, hey, Laura, how are you? Nice to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. And Laura doesn't celebrate um, Thanksgiving. He's down under. So, yeah, we have an international channel. Yeah. Okay. So if you guys don't have any questions for me, if you do have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. If you are here watching the replay, you may also just leave a comment and I will get back with you. I do answer all of my comments and questions eventually. So would love to hear from you. I'd love for you to share this with somebody. This is a big deal going into the holidays. I really want all of you to be protected and not fall off the rails. And then we're going to set ourselves up for success as we come into the new year, and we'll get into detox with the doc, and we will do that together. So I'm excited, and I'll be dropping more information about that in the coming few weeks so that you can get yourselves ready and get yourselves prepared. I'll help you. We'll talk about shopping, what that looks like, and we'll talk about meal prepping, because meal prepping has to become a habit for you if you really want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and your health. So, okay, guys, it is 6:49. I am going to jump off. It has been a long, long holiday between travel and then just running and running. So I'm going to sign off and I'm going to go rest before the day tomorrow. All right. Great to see you all. Thank you all for jumping in. I appreciate all your comments and all your engagement. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I'll see you tomorrow for Reset Monday, which will be somewhat of a recap of this, with a couple of different slants to it. So, all right, you guys, I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great night and a great